sounds just as sweet as ESPN presents for the 10th straight year, the NFL Draft. The decade began with some big hits. The 49ers picked big hitter Ronnie Lott, number 1 in 1981. And though he's not old time, he can certainly rock and roll. Everyone looks for a top gun to lead the way. The Colts may have picked John Elway first in 1983, but Elway took his aerial show to Denver, throwing passes with laser accuracy. Everyone looks for it. Midway through the decade, teams look for some nasty boys. Bruce Smith came out of Virginia Tech in 1985 and helped rebuild the Bills' defense into a snarling one. As the 80s come to a close and we look forward to the 90s, everyone is wild about Troy Aikman from UCLA. The 27 teams can't do a thing about it. The Cowboys have already corralled him in Big Key. Heisman Trophy winner Barry Sanders is short in size but tall in stature. His awesome ability will make one team's offense instantly dynamic. Strike up the band and make your own selections. ESPN presents the 1989 NFL Draft. You are looking live at the Marriott Marquis Ballroom, just a couple of ticks past noon Eastern Time here in New York City as the 1989 NFL Draft is about to begin. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Chris Berman, and to use another song from Jerry Lee Lewis, there's a whole lot of shaking going on because before the draft has even begun, we've got some big trades in the works. It seems as if the San Diego Chargers have been talking to just about everybody that moves. One of the teams that's moving, the Chicago Bears, and it's a trade that might involve Jim McMahon, veteran quarterback of the Bears, going to the Chargers for a number 1 pick. It hasn't happened yet, but it may in just a couple moments out at Lake Forest, Illinois at Bears headquarters, which is where our good friend Pete Axthelm is. Good morning, Ax.
Good morning, Chris. With my incredible instinct for news and sheer luck, I do happen to be sitting on top of the big story of the draft. It looks like McMahon's going to San Diego for 2 top draft choices, which right now, Mike Ditka, Bill Tobin, the personnel director, and owner Mike McCaskey are in a meeting. They have not finalized it yet. And the Redskins, which would have left a lot of draft choices exchanged in complicated fashion, but would have left Gerald Riggs in Washington. Where does that leave Bobby Beathard? Well, one more mystery of draft day. Let's go to Andrea Kramer. She's with McMahon's agent, Steve Zucker.
Thanks, Pete. We are here at the home of Steve Zucker in suburban Chicago. Is to be a day to celebrate draft picks to come, but one of Steve's greatest prizes has been Jim McMahon, and it looks as though, Steve, he may be heading out of Chicago. What do you hear? Can we substantiate any sort of rumors?
No, the rumors have been going on for some time. They seem to be really heating up today, though, and there's always a possibility. If Jim were to go anywhere, San Diego is the place he'd like to go.
What has transpired up to now? Have you talked to anybody? Has Jim talked to anybody?
No, we have not, and it's all, we've been hearing the rumors all morning long, and we're just going to respond to them as things break, but I guess that's up to the Bears in San Diego as to what they work out.
Well, we will be with Steve Zucker and later Jim McMahon here, and now let's head back to New York.
All right, Andrea and Pete, thank you very much. And so that's the backdrop as the draft is about to begin. It is an end for the career of Commissioner Pete Rozelle. This is his 30th draft that he will be presiding over, and it could be one of the most intriguing. We have a cast of thousands. We'll be live in more than half dozen places. We'll detail all those to you. And now here is the commissioner to start the festivities, if you will.
The 54th Annual National Football League Selection Meeting is now in session. First choice, first round, Dallas Cowboys.
Now, I can't mentioned that this is going to be more than about a 3-minute call. I mean, the phone companies aren't going to make a lot on this one because the Cowboys made it official 2 days ago.
Cowboys select Troy Aikman, quarterback, UCLA. Next up, the Green Bay Packers.
So it is now officially official, if you will. Troy Aikman is a member of the Dallas Cowboys, though he was signed and sealed, delivered a couple days ago. Transferred from Oklahoma to UCLA, first-team All-American last year, completing 64% of his passes, 23 touchdown passes a year ago, 209 completions. In 2 years with UCLA, threw for almost 5,300 yards, 41 touchdown passes with only 17 interceptions. Troy Aikman wasn't asked to throw long a lot in the UCLA system, which might be some sort of a question as he goes to the professional ranks and becomes a member of the Dallas Cowboys. With me here at there is Troy Aikman and with the commissioner Pete Rozelle right now and holding up the Cowboys jersey, which they're ready for him. I think you know these fellas, Tom Jackson and Joe Theismann. Joe, I'm going to start with you because you're the QB. You've said publicly you don't think Dallas should have made this move. Have you changed your stance?
No, I haven't. I think that Dallas could have made a better move trading this draft choice. I think they filled a need with Troy Aikman. And since the rule has been passed to only allow 80 players by June 1st, you have to take guys in a situation where they're going to have the ability to help your football team today, not in the future. This kid, being signed as early as he has, will have a chance to go through camp, and I think Troy Aikman will be the starting quarterback. I still believe they could have gotten more help if they'd have traded this pick, but it's good for the Cowboys.
Tommy, the Cowboys, what do you think? I mean, they need someone to throw it.
Well, you have to have a good quarterback. Somewhere in your system, if you want to win championships, you're going to have a good quarterback. I think the thing I would like to see this kid do is have a chance to sit on the bench and learn. Coming from Oklahoma, he really has only been a player 2 years at the major college level. I think he will need to sit on that bench for a while and get some experience before they throw him in under fire.
A couple of notes on Troy Aikman. Last year, of course, no quarterbacks went in the first round. He's only the 6th quarterback to ever be the first overall selection in the draft. A couple years ago, we had Vinny Testaverde in 87, John Elway, of course, by the Colts in 83, Steve Bartkowski by Atlanta in 75, Jim Plunkett in 71 with New England, and Terry Bradshaw in 1970 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going in the draft, meaning since they started the common draft in 1967. So a quarterback number one hasn't happened all that much. Another interesting note, only 6 quarterbacks picked in the first round since the start of the common draft in 67 have ever won a Super Bowl ring. Greasy, Bradshaw, Plunkett, Sims, Doug Williams, and Jim McMahon, who oddly enough we were talking about today. So Troy, it doesn't guarantee the Cowboys a Super Bowl. It doesn't guarantee success, but the Cowboys figure that they might as well go for him because he's the best quarterback in a lot of people's eyes. Certainly ranks even with Vinny, and we'll get into a little bit more with that with Mel Kiper and how he ranks. But the suspense is over in Irving, Texas for a couple days. Still, our Chris Myers is down there now with a couple of fellas who have studied Troy Aikman pretty closely. Chris?
All right, thanks very much, Chris. It is D-Day in Big D, and the Cowboys in selecting Troy Aikman, only the second time that they have ever used their number one choice for a quarterback. The first time was way back in 1965 when they selected Craig Morton out of California, and Ed Too-Tall Jones was the last time that the Cowboys had a first pick overall in the draft in 1974. They chose him, and of course, he's still hanging around on the roster. But we're talking about Troy Aikman and making it official today, and there really was never any doubt, Coach Jimmy Johnson with us, that you were going to make him your choice.
Well, there was no question in our mind for the simple reason, we've known Troy for a long, long time. He's a class individual. I think he's a very talented individual. And we looked at the long range. We looked at the future of the Dallas Cowboys and what player was going to have the greatest impact for a long time. And we really feel like that this year, Troy Aikman, without question in our mind, was the player that we needed and the player that could have such a positive influence on our club.
Now, there was talk of trade. San Diego, Kansas City interested. New England, we hear, offered their top 3 selections this year and the number 1 pick in 1990. You did listen to those trade offers. That has to help a little bit.
Well, we did listen, but that's all we did. We felt like that it would be to our benefit to find out what some of the clubs were willing to give up. But, really, we didn't waver. We knew that Troy was our guy, and thanks to our owner, Jerry Jones, who I think's done a fantastic job with the organization, he was able to not only draft him number one, but he was able to go out and sign him.
The Cowboys' new owner and your good friend is with us, and kind of like striking it rich in the oil fields. I get Aikman right off the bat.
Well, Tom, you know we're thrilled to have him on our club. Our fans deserve the Troy Aikmans if we can get them and have a chance to do it, and we knew we wanted him bad. The only one that wanted it worse than we did was Troy. He wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy as well. And when two people want each other that bad, then you can get together real quick. And we're going to have him out here practicing just as quick as we can.
How soon, how quickly would you expect him to start for this football season?
Well, that's he's got competition, and a lot of competition, and he's going to have to make our club. And Coach Johnson will, I'm sure, be able to evaluate that as we go. But he's the quality of player that our fans are going to see for many, many years to come.
Okay, thank you very much, Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson. Troy Aikman, they made it official. Steve Pallure, by the way, is still unsigned, the Cowboys starting quarterback from last year. Let's go to New York now and Bob Lee.
Thanks, Chris, and momentarily the Green Bay Packers will make it official.
First round, tackle Tony Mandarich, Michigan State. Next up, Detroit
There's no
Lions.
doubt about that one, certainly. Now, we have just been to Irving, Texas, and heard Jerry Jones, the man who's going to be paying Troy Aikman $11.5 million over the next 6 years, talk about his selection of Troy Aikman. Now, Tony Mandarich, the devotee of Guns N' Roses, the 300 and some odd pound offensive tackle, a man the likes of whom we have never seen. Tony Mandarich is the draftee. This guy, once in a lifetime.
He's a great player, Bob. When you watch him, he just dominates play after play. Great physical ability, but he utilizes those skills on every down. And that's rare to see that in the college football players. Look how he just drive these guys off the ball. Just a great football player. Never quits. He'll be down the field 20, 25 yards on occasion. You can see here in pass block, the pass protection, very rarely allows any penetration by the defensive lineman. Just a great bookend left tackle who will really help the Green Bay Packers.
4.6 speed at over 300 pounds, and the likes of which we have never seen. We are waiting on Detroit's pick. Will it be Barry Sanders? Probably should be. Tony Mandarich, the selection. Let's get to the podium.
Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions.
Power and more raw speed, but Barry is much more instinctive and much quicker. And if you watch him, he evades tacklers and makes people miss. He's going to be a 1,500-yard rusher in the NFL next season, and he has a great future. And he will generate excitement with the Detroit Lion organization, which is something they desperately need right now.
He is in this draft, of course, as a true junior. Because the fact Oklahoma State is on probation, there has not been a legal challenge to the prohibitions against underclassmen really coming into the draft. The league has really yet to face this. Let's get back to Aikman for just a second. Joe says it was a reach or a mistake by the Cowboys. You, as we were talking and kicking around the rumored McMahon deal to San Diego, are of the opinion you want to develop a quarterback. You don't necessarily have to win now. You like the Aikman selection.
You have to be patient, Bob, and I think the Dallas Cowboys are in a position right now where they can develop Troy Aikman. He's not going to be the savior in Dallas. Steve Pallure is going to open the season as their #1 quarterback, and I think down the road in 2-3 years, maybe 4 years, Troy Aikman will have the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Jimmy Johnson's a great coach. I think the organization's going to do everything in their power to develop a winner, and if you look at Dallas, if they would have been picking 2, 3, 4, 10, they would have been figuring out ways to move up to get Troy Aikman. They lucked out on the 16th week of the season when Green Bay goes into Phoenix and pulls an upset. So they're very fortunate to get the first pick. All they had to do was sign Troy Aikman, and he's theirs. They did it, and I think it's a great move. So I think the Dallas Cowboys are well on their way to getting back to the top of the NFC East.
Next up, Kansas City. They have approximately 13 minutes to make their selection. Teams in the first round have 15 minutes per pick. Second round, it's 10 minutes per pick, and from there on, it's 5 minutes per selection. It'll be Carl Peterson's first selection as president of the Kansas City Chiefs. They need linebacker help. Is this where we see Derek Thomas go?
It should be. They desperately need an outside linebacker, and Derek Thomas is without question the best outside linebacker in this draft. Broderick Thomas, by the way, is up to 267 pounds. So people are now looking at Broderick as a down end in certain situations, like Minnesota has used Chris Dolman, who when he came out of Pitt was a linebacker and then moved to the defensive line.
Broderick Thomas out there. Derek Thomas, take the best Thomas available. And Chris, of course, minutes in the best athlete available is what every team covets.
The over-under on that line was about 12.52, Bob, the best athlete available. It's the best Thomas and the best Sanders available, because you could have two Sanders, two Thomases go within the first 6 picks, and we'll have to get our research staff on that one to find out when two names were so popular, so high on the draft. Let's go back to the Packers with Tony Mandrich. They drafted in the first round offensive lineman at 85, Ken Rutgers, USC, Ron Hallstrom, 82, Iowa, but there's nobody like him. And Tommy, they're comparing Mandrich. The only one they're even comparing him to is your friend Anthony Munoz of the Bengals. And if that's the only one they're comparing it to, you can understand how Lorenzo White made all those yards up at Michigan State. He probably felt his line at Houston last year in the Oilers wasn't as good as his line was in college.
Well, Munoz is the toughest player that I played ever against on the offensive line. Maybe John Hanna had that kind of exceptional talent, that aggressiveness. But as we have said before, we have not seen anything like Mandrich. This guy is 305 pounds and runs just about the same speed that I ran when I came out of college. So this guy can play football.
And Joe, what is it to know that you got a guy in front of you like that? Not directly in front, but he's almost directly in front of you from the tackle spot.
Close enough to be in front of you. See, he's right over here, and if you're a right-handed quarterback, that's your blind side. And there's one place that you want somebody you know that's as big as a house. Now, I worked the Gator Bowl this year. Mike Patrick and I had a chance to do that. Michigan State played Georgia in that game. Tony Mandrich has the largest arms that I have seen since Hulk Hogan. Now, Hogan's got those 16-inch pythons. Mandrich is real close, but a real important factor for Tony Mandrich is he comes out of college healthy. A lot of offensive linemen come out with bad knees or nicks or ankles or something. This kid's coming out very big, very healthy, and I think he's going to help Green Bay right away. No question.
Very good also.
Very good, too.
Barry Sanders, the Heisman Trophy winner, the true junior that came out, and he goes to the Detroit Lions. For a while, they were wondering whether Mouse Davis was, I believe, whether he fit exactly into their new offense of the run and shoot as the Lions try to restore the roar. But I think if you draft Barry Sanders, you'll figure out an offense to fit him in, won't you, Tom?
I think that he'll fit basically in any offense. I think the thing that's interesting is people talk about his lack of height. I'll tell you something. I played with a guy named Howard Stevens at the University of Louisville, about 5'2". They don't open the holes this way. They open the holes this way.
Barry Sanders, so he will go to Detroit. We assume it's Derek Thomas to go to Kansas City. We assume it's Deion Sanders that will go to Atlanta. Those are pretty much your first 5 picks, and you can almost write them down. The fun begins when we get to number 6, Tampa Bay, because now there's some other trade involving McMahon with San Diego's number 8 pick. Atlanta may also be involved with that. You heard Axe say that with Washington. That trade may still be brewing as well, that Atlanta may get the number 8 pick in San Diego involving Humphreys and Riggs. So they weren't kidding when they said that the McMahon deal was not a done deal yet. We shall wait and see. But in the meantime, here comes the card from the Kansas City Chiefs, who this year may be taking the step to no longer be known as the Chefs. Checking all the spelling, I'm sure. And here's the commissioner.
The Kansas City Chiefs, first-round selection. Derek Thomas, linebacker, Alabama. Next up, Atlanta Falcons.
And the Kansas City Chiefs, an interesting note on Derek Thomas is that at Alabama, Derek Thomas had sack numbers way superior to Cornelius Bennett. We're not trying to say he's better than Cornelius, but already you know that Derek Thomas is a special sort of football player. He broke his own school record with 88 tackles this last year. He had 45 career sacks, whereas Cornelius only had 15. And the young man from South Miami, Florida, will fit in very nicely with the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that's making a move, Joe.
Well, you know, the thing about him is this is the first time Carl Peterson has a chance to draft that high. So I think he's made a real good selection. They've got the best secondary in the NFL. Now they're moving down to making some of the best linebacker choices.
So Derek Thomas is the 4th pick. Here's Atlanta. Number 5.
Falcons, Atlanta Falcons, first-round choice. Deion Sanders, cornerback, Florida State. Next up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And so Kenny Herrock, the player personnel director of Atlanta, he was awfully quick on that pick. Atlanta has really never had a guy like this, a guy that can sit people in the seats. And you mentioned it at Dallas, Joe. Atlanta needs to sit people in the seats. And Deion Sanders, prime time, Dion, he's being ranked as the best pure corner to come out of the draft since Michael Haynes in 1976. So already that tells you how good he is.
I talked to the Atlanta scouts that are here today in New York, and they said that through phone polls and in the newspapers, they wanted Deion Sanders. The fans wanted Deion Sanders. And, of course, Atlanta felt if he was available, Neon can make things. I mean, it'll light up stadium down here, I'll tell you now.
Peachtree Street, they don't need any lights on Peachtree Street anymore. And here comes Tampa's pick, number 6, and maybe this will be Broderick Perkins. We shall see. We know that Ray Perkins wasn't as sold on Broderick Perkins as some of his scouts are. But in the last day or so, we believe that they have moved towards Broderick Thomas. What did I say? Broderick Perkins? No, that's a baseball player who used to play for the San Diego Padres. Broderick Thomas, we assume.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, first round selection. Broderick Thomas, linebacker, Nebraska. Next up, Pittsburgh Steelers.
They should be this easy every year, but I think the easiness stops right now. So Tampa Bay is going with Broderick Thomas, the guy who can play both linebacker, but probably will be used from the pass rushing defensive end position. Broderick Thomas, outside linebacker, Nebraska, weighs over 250 pounds. His first step just gets him off the line of scrimmage and into the backfield almost immediately. He's almost impossible to handle one-on-one. 98 tackles, 53 solo tackles last year. Tommy, the guy is huge.
Highly aggressive, huge player who could maybe be a swing player, outside linebacker, inside linebacker, might be a down defensive lineman. This guy can do a lot of things for a ball club, and I think that his aggressiveness is something that's going to add to the Tampa Bay Buccaneer attack.
Well, the Buccaneers, Joe, have tried to be getting some players together. It hasn't shown much in the win and loss column. Last year, they made a good number 1 draft pick with Paul Gruber, offensive line. This year, you like this pick?
I think I like this pick. I think the thing about Broderick Thomas is you got Broderick Thomas almost cast in the same mold of Freddie Joe Nunn, who's with the Phoenix Cardinals now. He's tried to play outside linebacker. He's a little too big to try and cover backs out of the backfield. This is the kind of guy who's going to wind up going down, I'm sure, most of the time in Tampa Bay's defense. And they need that. A lot of teams need the outside rushers, but this one's going to help Tampa Bay make another step. Now, if they can teach Vinny how to throw to the guys with his shirts on, that would make it another step that would help him a lot, too.
They're working very hard on that, Joe. We have that just in from one of our sources. If you've watched the 10 drafts that we've done here, ESPN's coverage of the 1989 NFL Draft is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world. By Bud Light, everything else is just alike. And by Levi's Dockers. If you're not wearing Dockers, you're just wearing pants.
ESPN's coverage of the National Football League Draft continues for the 10th consecutive year with the Marriott Marquis in New York City. Good afternoon, I'm Bob Lee. We're waiting on Pittsburgh now, the 7th selection in the first round. They've got approximately 10 minutes. We have had a machine gun start to this first round. Troy Aikman, Tony Mandarich, Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, Deion Sanders, and Broderick Thomas taken quickly. We still, of course, have that rumor percolating about a possible trade sending Jim McMahon to San Diego. We wait to see what happens with that. We will have a chance to analyze what has been a scattershot open. But now, let's check in Las Vegas with Al Bernstein, standing by with 2 of the men who have been among the top 6 selected. Good morning, Al.
Well, lots of excitement. Hi, Bob. How are you? Well, it was appropriate. The Kansas City Chiefs needed some linebacking help. They called the right place, the Aladdin Hotel here in Las Vegas, for Derek Thomas. And it's appropriate because he won the Butkus Award for Best Linebacker of the Year. Let's bring Derek in if we can. And Derek, not really a surprise to you. You probably expected to go right there.
Well, I had hoped to go right there, and I heard some rumors that they might take Barry Sanders this morning, and I got kind of shaky, but I was all right once I got in here.
How are you going to fit in with the Kansas City Chiefs? A new regime, a new coach, a new general manager, a new beginning for everybody.
Well, I think I fit in very well because they run a scheme similar to the one that I ran in college, and I think I can execute and do real well soon.
Well, you did well in college, 27 sacks. You got a few more with the Chiefs.
Well, I hope to exceed 27, but if I don't, I think I'll be happy with the number I come up with.
All right, I'm sure they'll be happy with you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Derek Thomas, the first of the linebackers to go in this draft. Now let's send things over to Andrea Kramer in Winnetka, Illinois.
We are in the home of Steve Zucker in Winnetka, Illinois. A very happy Deion Sanders. The most important thing has already been decided, what number he's going to wear. What number is that, Deion?
21. We had to get a 2 in there somewhere, so I think we chose unanimous decision. We wanted 21.
You just said this is your mom sitting next to you. You said she's my very rich mom. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
No more sales. No more nothing now. We get that big house we always been wanting. We get everything we want now.
It looks like you're wearing your signing bonus here. And plus we have we can see the nice primetime logo already, or what?
Yeah, we got sweatsuits started, jackets started, everything. We got it going on here. Everybody got on jewelry. Even the baby got a little something. We ready now.
Even the baby has jewelry. Your feelings about going to Atlanta, no doubt it was your first preference.
Definitely. Atlanta or Tampa Bay. And Atlanta chose me, and I'm very pleased with that decision. I can't wait to get to town with Coach Campbell and get with them fans down there and pack them in there.
When Detroit took the other Sanders, I saw a big grin come across your face.
I was so happy. I was kind of scared. I thought Detroit was going to take me. I would have asked for so much money that they had to put me on layaway.
On layaway, huh? No baseball's leverage there, huh?
No.
What did Marion Campbell, you just got off the phone with him, what did he say to you on the phone, aside just from welcome to Atlanta?
Welcome to Atlanta. He was, he laid low for the last 3 days, and he knew deep down inside it would work out, and I can't wait till I can get there. And he want Deion and Primetime to get on that plane.
Oh, you just said, tell Marion Primetime's coming to Atlanta, huh?
I want everybody at the airport. I want everybody in Atlanta there. I want a special greeting when I get there.
All right, we'll be back with Deion a little bit later. Let's now go back to Las Vegas.
Well, thank you, Andrea. We are here with Broderick Thomas, the gentleman who was selected by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the second linebacker to be selected